Welcome to Failure is Progress, presented by Sweat Factory CrossFit. I am Coach Frankie Ortega.
And I am Coach Keith Barber. Join us today as we discuss everything going on inside the CrossFit space and, more importantly, what new and exciting things are happening in our Sweat Factory CrossFit gyms.
As always, thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate the support and truly enjoy the feedback we've been receiving from all of you.
Please reach out through our DMs on Instagram. If you aren't already following us, please do so at Failure is Progress, all lowercase. And now, on to today's episode.
All right, and we are back with another episode of Failure is Progress, presented by Sweat Factory CrossFit. Coach Keith, it's been a few weeks, man.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, man. It's been a while since we've been able to hang out, let alone like jump on the pod together.
It has been a very busy summer.
Facts.
Very busy summer in and out of the gyms. We had the summer games this past weekend, which was such an awesome event to put together. Huge kudos to Coach Valeria for everything she did to get that going, all the workouts, all the behind-the-scenes things that she did for that was really incredible. So thank you, Valeria.
Yeah, knowing how much work she put into that, I mean, she really like put her heart and soul into that and did that from day one. It wasn't a thing to where it's like she kind of realized the gravity of it as she was going through it, because I fall victim to that all the time. I'm like, oh, this seems cool, and then I don't really get serious about it until it's about to end, and I'm like, oh, I got to get my stuff together. Like, it was like from day one, she was like going in, hitting the ground running, like ironing out all the details, leaving no stone unturned. So
Absolutely.
Done. Well done.
Yeah, and she came up with the whole Olympics theme to it as well. It's cool that the Olympics just happened, and she wanted to throw that in there. She did some really nice videos to throw on the Facebook pages, keeping all the athletes engaged. It was great. It was a lot of work, and she made it look easy. I know that it was not.
That's how you know somebody's doing something really, really well, is when you know they're busting their hump and making it look like it was nothing,
Yeah.
She inspired me. She makes me feel like I could do more. I can't, but she makes me feel like I can.
You can do more. We can all do more. We may not choose to, but let's give a shout out to the podium finishers for the Summer Games. In the yellow division, we had the yellow division women's. We had Brittany Camacho in first place, Kiara Rios in second place, and Madison Ortega in third place. Brittany's from Groveland, Kiara is from Afterburn, and Maddie is from Claremont.
Maddie Ortega, that last name sounds like your last name.
Yeah, she made me proud.
Oh,
She
okay,
made me
all
proud.
right.
She, I did not expect her to do what she did, but
Yeah.
she did it anyways. Orange Division women, Erin Durden in first place, Vanessa Alva. Isn't it Alava?
Did they spell that wrong?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's
Alva.
all good.
And then Amanda Figueroa in third. Erin and Vanessa, I think, are both Groveland athletes. Amanda is a Afterburn athlete, 6 a.m.er.
Well done, ladies.
Good job, good job. Blue Division ladies, Albani Tolosa in first place, Maria Cardozo in second place, and Coach Valerie in third.
That's
Albani
cool.
and Valerie are both from Groveland. Maria's from Afterburn. I'm picking up on a trend here.
Yeah, we got to get some Claremonts in there real quick.
Brown Division ladies, Coach Lauren in first place. She's from Groveland. Ashley Fernandez in second place from Afterburn, and Coach Jen Rice in third place from
That's what I'm
Claremont.
talking about Jen.
Finally putting Claremont on the board.
Finally getting on there.
Moving on to the men, Orange Division, Cesar Avala. I think that's misspelled as well. Cesar Alava in first place. Ivan Quo in second. Lawton in third. Ivan and Lawton are both from Afterburn. Cesar is from Groveland. Man, Claremont got hammered.
Listen.
What happened,
All right.
y'all? Blue Division men, Joseph Paderano in first place. Is he Groveland as well?
Who's that?
Joseph.
Yeah, I think
Is he
he's
Groveland?
Groveland, yeah.
Miguel Bastidas in second place, representing Afterburn, and Wes Copland. Did I say that one right? Yeah, he's
Yep.
Claremont. Oh,
That's
there you
Claremont,
go.
yeah, that
There you
5 a.m.
go.
crew, they get after it.
And then in the men's brown division, first place went to Mr. John Sayak.
Let's go.
Who was incredible to watch. Second place, Gabriel Diaz from Afterburn, Coach Gabriel Diaz. And then third place, Michael Jamorsky, who was adopted by the Venezuelans. That was fun to watch. John, representing from Clermont. And then Coach Gabriel and Mike, both from Afterburn. Good job, guys. I don't remember which of these buttons does it, but I'm going to give it a shot. Nope.
It was close.
Not that one.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Little round of applause for everybody.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Well done. I think the funniest part about the brown level or brown division men going up was when the MC said Mike Jamorsky from Venezuela, his girlfriend Jessie or wife.
Yeah,
are they
Jessie,
married?
wife.
Oh, okay. His wife looks and was just like, he's Polish.
Oh man, that is funny, dude. That is
She
funny.
was so confused.
And he owned it too.
Yeah,
he
he
went up
did.
with the flag, and
Yeah,
he
he
was.
did.
That was awesome, man.
I heard somebody scream out, say something in Spanish. It was me. It was me. I'll admit it.
He's such a great athlete over at the gym. He gets along with everybody. He doesn't take any of our classes. He does his own program. He does open gym over there. His schedule is very sporadic. For those that don't know him, he is a professional stunt double, and so he does CrossFit for his career to stay in shape and to make sure that he can fall 1,000 times, get hit 1,000 times, get thrown, beat up, crash, fall, whatever. But yeah, he's a big part of the community over there. And if you don't know him, you're probably scared of him because he looks like he could be a mean person. But then you talk to him, and he's the nicest guy in the world. So, yeah, man. And
Yeah, if you've never seen a Russian assassin, then that's exactly what it looks like. Which is good. When you're a stuntman, you should look like that. But,
you should look like a Russian.
Yeah. I
That's
did
funny.
want to give a couple honorable mentions out to somebody that was on the podcast, actually our last podcast, Jamil. He was there
Yes.
throwing down
Last minute, too.
last minute. He's just one of those guys that's like, you know what? I'm not ready for this, but I'm ready for this, So he jumped in there. He did his thing. So I wanted to shout him out. I also wanted to shout out Wes. We already shouted him out, but he was another one of those situations where it was just like, some other people couldn't make it, and we kind of threw him in there, and he went out there and competed and celebrated and was a part of the community. And I really appreciate those guys for jumping in and having that sense of community and just executing,
Yeah, and way to demonstrate, one of the things that CrossFit preaches is being prepared for the unknown and the unknowable. And they didn't know they were going to be competing, They weren't necessarily ready or in the mindset to compete, but when they got called upon, they showed up and they competed.
Yeah.
They
You're
threw
never
down.
really ready to do 1,000 deadlifts, but when you have to do it, you just have to do it,
Yeah, I guess. I can't do one right now, but but yeah, it was a great experience. It was so awesome to have all three gyms together under one roof, having different athletes talk to each other, meet each other. We always high five in the Chalker Pro app when we see our scores. It was nice to be able to see people say, hey, you know what? I know this person. He isn't a liar. His scores are legit. He must
he
be
actually
real.
is that fit. That's crazy.
Yeah. John, man. John is that fit.
John is the man.
John
He
is that
did his
fit.
thing. He took first in both of those events and just purely established dominance. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those guys that is very reserved. I wouldn't say that he's quiet because, like, if you get him talking about the right thing, he'll go all day. But he's very reserved. He's not very boisterous with his character. But when he starts moving, you're like, okay, this guy's legit. So it was cool to see him in his element, kind of throwing down. And deadlifts is probably one of his favorite movements. He has a listed 525 deadlift. So I'm pretty sure he can hit way more than that if we had longer bars that could fit more weight on it. But he right now he has to cap out at 525 because there's no more space left on the bar.
Oh, man. We got to get those lighter 45s.
Yeah, we gotta get the light 45s.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of competition, we do have the Festivus Games coming up in October. What's the T-shirt deadline for that? I think it's
T-shirt
the
deadline, I believe, is
31st.
August 31st. So you got about 10 days to sign up if you want your swag. The drip is gonna be lit today. I want to feel young, so I'm gonna use a lot of slang words.
Slay
The
Queen.
drip is going to be lit. All right, so make sure you get out.
You need that Riz.
Sign up. Yeah, that Riz. Sign up before August 31st to make sure you still get your T-shirt.
Absolutely. And the actual competition will be October 5th. So you got August 31st. Yeah, so a little over a month from when you sign up to prepare. All the workouts are already online. If you don't know where to sign up, visit the Facebook pages for your corresponding gym. The links will be in there. It's going to be a fun time. If you have never competed at Festivus Games or at any competition, we strongly encourage you. Talk to anybody in your classes who have done it, and they'll tell you it is a blast.
Absolutely. It's one of those ones that, like, it's a really good introduction to competition, specifically for our gyms, because you kind of have home turf. I know it's only at the Claremont gym right now, but even if you're from Afterburn or Groveland, you still have family here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you show up, normally somebody's going to know you, and even if they don't, just say you're from the Afterburn gym, and we're going to treat you just like if you were there. So it's still kind of home turf, and it kind of gets you into that whole competition circuit without having to feel like you're on this giant stage with, people you have never seen before, and you don't really have a whole lot of support. You're going to have the support here. So get signed up. Even if you're on the fence about it, get off the fence and sign up.
Absolutely. I don't think I've done a competition since last year's October Festivus. No, I haven't.
When did you do the doubles with CJ? Was that last
That
October?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
okay.
it. That was it.
I think that's the last one I remember seeing you. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the open. You did the open workouts, but...
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, okay. It felt pretty competitive to me, but I.
That's you against yourself.
True. And the other 400,000 people that signed up. But yeah, I get your point.
I mean, you don't get to look across the room and stare somebody down.
True, unless,
Well, I mean,
all
if you
the
do it in the
athletes-
classes, I did it by myself.
Oh, no, all the athletes were like, yeah, you and Jen should go head to head. And then they
Oh,
literally
yeah.
put our dumbbells right in front of each other. So I had to watch her lap me several times.
All right, man. So Festivus Games, sign up by the 31st for your free shirt. Don't think about it anymore. Just do it. Even if you don't want to do it, just do it.
Be like Nike, just do it.
All right, man. What else are we talking about today?
Honestly, I just wanted to catch up with you, bro. See what's happening in your life. We know you had some life things going on. Alyssa got her braces on. That's pretty big. The girls
Summer
are-
kicked my butt, man.
Yeah.
Summer kicked my butt. I had a lot of stuff going on with the house, a lot of stuff going on with the kids. I'll tell you what, man. I miss summer, though. Like, I couldn't wait for summer to be over and for them to go back to school just so that I wouldn't have that pressure of having to come home and take care of them. But now that they're not home, I really miss them. Like, Alyssa got me into yoga over the summer, and I haven't done yoga since she went back to school. And I swear, in the 5 or 6 classes we took together, I got so much more flexible, and it went away.
It went away.
It all went away.
That fast?
It all went away, man.
I lost all of it
I started
immediately.
having all these back pains, and my wrist hurt,
Okay.
but yeah, man, I miss them. I'm proud that they're going back to school and getting smarter than me. But
So is it that you just miss the time that you spent with them, or was it just like, oh, they're not here anymore and I just feel lonely?
No, I missed the time that I had with them. Like, it was different than other summers. In previous summers, I was working a regular job, and they weren't home. So they were at summer camp or whatnot. This summer, they were able to, like, be in the house. And, they're a little older now. Allie's 13. Maddie's going to be 10 in 5 days. They were home every day. They were helping out around the house, which was nice for me and Jessica. But I was able to spend time with them. There was a couple days where me and Allie went outside and just went for a ruck. She asked me for one of the backpacks, and we actually went out. Like I said, we did yoga together. There were some days where we just got in the pool in the afternoon for no reason whatsoever, other than that we live in Florida and everybody should be in a pool in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anytime
man,
past 2 p.m., you should definitely be submerged in water for sure.
it is so hot. It is so hot. But yeah, man, and then the gym was very busy over the summer, which is beautiful. So many athletes coming into Afterburn, and the classes all grew over the summer. I want to say we've hit a point where we're almost at like 10, 12 people per class. A couple days ago we had, I think, 20 people at 4 p.m., which is astonishing. Huge shout out to Coach Gabriel and Coach Gabriel over at Afterburn, G6 as we call them, and OG Gabriel. Both of them have done such a superb job coaching these humongous classes. Our 6 p.m. class is 20, 22, sometimes 24 people.
Ooh.
almost every night. And these guys are doing such a spectacular job keeping everybody in line. The coaching over there has gotten so much better. Huge thanks to you for that. And to the coaches development program that you've put in place for Sweat Factory Afterburn and Sweat Factory Groveland and Sweat Factory Claremont. But yeah, man, like so many athletes, coaching, I would say coaching upwards of 10 athletes is a handful.
Yeah.
At any point, 12 maybe tops. But, I remember a few days where I had to coach the kids' classes in Claremont, and it was 18 kids or 16 kids, and I was like, what am I going to do with myself? Because you're trying to manage space, you're trying to manage personalities, you're trying to manage equipment. The right workout can help versus the wrong workout, and by the wrong workout, I mean one where you need rowers or assault bikes, and you've only got 10 of them or 12 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the coaches over there have done an excellent job, as well as Coach Yoli, who coaches on Fridays with that 6 p.m. hour. There's, again, just so many athletes. And, yeah, man, the coaches are crushing it over there. Crushing it at all the gyms, really.
Yeah, we got a stellar staff right now. And they, like I said, the Summer Games was a great example of, like, all of our coaches, like, not even having a super strong bond with each other. We still were able to come together and make it happen. And under Valeria's leadership, I don't think there was anybody that really didn't try to lend a hand in some fashion. You know what I mean? Like, if we saw people setting stuff up, we just jumped in and started setting stuff up. If we saw people like breaking stuff down and putting it away, we jumped in. It wasn't a thing to where anybody had to come to us and be like, hey, can you help? So we got some good people right now.
I'll tell you what my favorite part of the Summer Games was, aside from watching my daughter compete in a division that wasn't a kids division. Watching the coaches with the athletes be athletes, if that makes sense. A lot of times, and I'll say this more like before I got into coaching, I was an athlete and the coach was the coach. And sure, we got along, but for the most part, I was the athlete, you were the coach, right? And over time, I was able to hit some classes with you and see you as an athlete as well. And I think, that the athletes love seeing us in class. The athletes love working out with us. They love seeing, one, where our skill set is, right? But also, they find themselves inspired by us. I think what the athletes don't know about a lot of us is that we're actually the ones that are inspired by them.
Yeah.
And seeing the coaches in the crowd, Lauren, Jen, Valerie, who else? Which other coaches competed? Gabriel, G6.
Yeah.
Did I mention you? I did, right? You.
I have no idea.
But
you don't need to.
Seeing you guys throw down with the athletes and just everyone meshing together was so cool. And I think that's what has really like sparked something different in all the gyms. The feeling, the camaraderie that we have right now is just amazing. When I started coaching, there was always something very I don't want to say special, calming about having Coach Lauren in my 6 a.m. classes every morning, because I knew that she had my back, and seeing her be an athlete versus just be a coach was awesome. I had Coach Ricky, who isn't coaching currently, but was a great coach when I started as an athlete. And he's in a lot of the classes over at Groveland as well. Like, when you're a coach and you can look out in the crowd and see that other coach is there as well, there's a sense of calm that you have. And I think the athletes also feel that sense of leadership amongst them, which is really, really nice. And that was, for me, the coolest part of the summer games. Like,
was there anything that they did during those classes that you were coaching, or anything that they said that made you feel more comfortable? Because I've taken other coaches' classes, and 9 times out of 10, that coach will say that I intimidated them by taking their class. I don't know if it's just because I'm intimidating to everybody, or just because I'm tall and black. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know
the
that
feedback that I normally get.
I don't know that you're intimidating to everybody. I will tell you, Lauren is intimidating to everybody.
Yeah.
She intimidated the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
But again, there's more of that sense of respect than intimidation from my perspective. Mm-hmm. Remember when I started at Groveland, I had been teaching or coaching just kids classes.
Yeah.
So I went over there and I started coaching, and there wasn't anything specific that Lauren did, or that, a Ricky did, or that you did, or that Jen did, or anybody that took one of my classes did. But again, now that I get to be that coach athlete sometimes as well, I see it from my coaches where they're like, it's nice to have that extra, set of eyes there, because we all want to be better. We all want to push ourselves. And sometimes, like I said, once you go past 10, 12, athletes in a class, you work really hard to see them all.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to see them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Having that extra set of eyes who could just look over and be like, hey, just put your hips down just a little bit, or raise your hips up just a little bit, push your knees back just a little bit. And you can look over and just say, thank you. I appreciate you, versus I'm intimidated because this coach is here.
Yeah.
I think if I felt any intimidation, it's on me, not because somebody intimidated me. But yeah, honestly, there was nothing specific. It was just, there's always that calming relief. Coach Jason Smiley was also in the 9 a.m. classes, and there was a lot of times where he would actually say something, and he would always like agree with what I was saying and then add some. And that was really helpful as well. I would say something to the class, and he'd say, yeah, I'm not going to say anything against what you said. I'm just going to add to it.
Yeah.
And it was very helpful for me in terms of learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jason definitely helped out. Thank you so much, Jason. Again, when I first started, I didn't know everything. I still don't know everything. I know more than I did then.
I really hope so.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just your knowledge as a coach. It's also your ability to pick from that at the right place and time. And sometimes you do the class, and then class is over, and you're like, oh man, I forgot to say this, or I missed this, or I should have said that.
Yeah.
So having that extra person in the class who's got your back is very helpful. And having, what do we have now? 20 coaches, 19 coaches across all 3 gyms?
Somewhere in that ballpark, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I think when I started coaching, we may have had somewhere around 12.
I think, yeah.
But I don't know what's going on. What's going on with the Sweat Factory water?
I mean,
but we're attracting top tier coaches, man.
Yeah, that's really the goal that I had with the coaches development program. Is I want to establish this as a learning environment. Like I would love for one day, like coaches from other gyms to be like, hey, I heard about you guys' internship. Can I do that? Or is that only for Sweat Factory coaches? Yeah. And be like, well, open up that checkbook. Let me. What the money talk about? No, I'm just kidding.
Here's my Zelle number.
Yeah. But that would be amazing, right? For people to be seeking out our gym to educate themselves and get better and learn more. That would be absolutely incredible. It also establishes us as a coaching staff as experts. You know what I mean? When other professionals are coming to you for educational purposes, like you can then say, okay, I'm an expert in this field. And then, we can ask our members to open up that checkbook. Like, what's that money talk about? No, I'm just kidding. No, I was just kidding.
We're going to have to nickname this guy Richie Rich.
No, in all seriousness, like at the end of the day, I always want to provide opportunities for coaches. And that was always the goal with the coaches development program, was just to
and
kind of hone it. And yeah, still is for sure. Kind of hone it and create a system so that, once other people start to see that system, they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Can we get in on that? Or maybe some other gym owner will hear about what we do here and be like, hey, can you teach us how to implement that system at our gym? And,
Open up that checkbook. No, but you know what, man? In all seriousness, I really appreciate, and I don't use this word lightly, but I really appreciate all the intention that you have put behind the coach's development. And even more so than that, like before we really cranked it up, when I was just getting started, or before I even got my L1, when I was just considering the idea of becoming a coach, I had a few different people randomly in classes, random coaches say to me, oh, when are you getting your L1? When are you going to start coaching? Because, you're already showing those signs. But it was really you who kind of, maybe it's because you intimidated me at the time, but there was something about you where when you said it, it wasn't just, hey, you should be a coach. It was more like with a definition, like, hey, I think you'd make a great coach. Your personality, the way you speak to people, the way you take what I say and implement it, your thirst for knowledge. Like, it wasn't just, hey, Keith thinks I'm good. No, he thinks I'm good because, or he thinks I'd be great at this because. And I think that's also what you do with everyone, that makes better athletes when you coach them, better coaches when you coach them, better checkbook writers when they sign.
Exactly. Get that full cursive.
But really, man, I appreciate it. And again, intention is everything.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot, and your intention behind not just the coach development, but behind everything you do. I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate that you do things with virtuosity.
And I appreciate that. I did want to back up a little bit, going back to your family. I just want to, talk all about Frankie's household right now. No. Honestly, I'm curious. When you started really getting into your CrossFit journey, obviously it was by yourself, in terms of like your family wasn't CrossFitting. Was that ever the...
No.
No? You have family CrossFitting?
So Madison started doing gymnastics about a year before I started doing CrossFit.
Oh, okay.
So not specifically CrossFit.
Yeah. CrossFit-esque, if you will.
But she started doing gymnastics from the moment we moved up here.
Okay.
We moved from a tiny 1,500 square foot house to a 3,000 square foot house. And all of a sudden, her mind said, because there's space, you should start flipping and cartwheeling. Mm. So she started doing that, and then we signed her up for a gymnastics gym nearby. And then I've always been, I use this loosely, but I'll say a career athlete, right? Like I've been in and out of sports, in and out of gyms my entire life.
Yeah.
I started playing baseball when I was like 7 or 8. And since then, it's been baseball, basketball, hockey, volleyball, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, when we were walking outside together one day, which at the time was the only exercise I was doing, we heard the music from the gym because I happened to live right behind Claremont. And she said, Daddy, when are you going to go look at that gym? I know that you want to. Mm. And I said, no, I don't think that's for me. And she said, go look at the gym. And we walked over here, and that's how it kind of all sparked. But I didn't mean to cut off your question.
No, you're good. My question was going to be, did you ever, was the plan always like to get your whole family involved into CrossFit? But it sounds like Maddie's plan was to get the whole family involved in CrossFit.
It was never my plan to get the whole family into CrossFit. I would say ever since like 2017, I've been a very go with the flow type of person. You know, wait for a door to open and just walk through it. If it's open, I'm going through it. I don't really care what's on the other side. I'm not going to know if I don't go through it.
Yeah.
There were times when I suggested it to my wife and she was like, nope, not for me. Okay, cool. I never really pried, never really pushed. From the day that I started doing CrossFit, Madison was like, when am I doing it? When am I doing it? When am I doing it? And because of logistics with the things that she was doing, it was difficult. But eventually she got into it. And my other daughter, Allie, she is into cheerleading, wants nothing to do with CrossFit. She doesn't appreciate the CrossFit lifestyle at all. Zoe sees her all the time at the gym and says, when are you going to start? On Saturday at the summer game, she was like, so when are you going to start? And she's like, don't ask me anymore. I'm not going to start. But if Alyssa ever starts doing CrossFit, I am going to go back and thank Zoe.
Yeah. That will definitely be peer pressure.
Yeah, it was never the plan to get the whole family into it. I think what sparked my wife's interest was when we went to Madison's first competition, and she saw the camaraderie that Maddie had with the other girls, Claire, Ellie, Zoe. That, for some reason, really intrigued her, and she appreciated it. Obviously, when you're a mama bear, you know, everything comes for them first.
Yeah.
And then she came and did her first trial class. My wife did after I got my L1. And I think when I got my L1, there was a certain sense of, oh, this is an actual real thing. Like there was a validity to it that wasn't there before. Maybe before she thought I was just coming and playing games.
Yeah.
And now she realizes that I do just come to play games. But yeah, there was a validity there, and she was like, okay, let's go try it. And then
Had you been sharing with her some of the things that you were learning, or it was just like she saw the example of it and that validated it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not specifically sharing it with her. She would just, I mean, we've talked about this. The way that I take in knowledge, I just go all in on things. So anytime I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching videos on CrossFit, watching different CrossFit, you know, whether it's coaches coaching, whether it's seminar staff teaching, whether it's CrossFit games, whatever it may be, I'm learning things. If it's gymnastics, weightlifting, whatever it may be. So she would see a lot of that. I think the other big example is the changes in me. She started, and the girls started seeing just how happy I was and how different I was feeling. I had way more energy. I wasn't falling asleep on the couch every afternoon like I was before. You know, my nutrition changed. Physically, I look different. So I think all those things attributed to it. But again, the spark was Maddie doing that first competition. And then that's when it was like, oh, this is really, really cool. Like, this is something that is really nice. And then I'm going to give her a huge shout out. When Jessica first started CrossFit, Coach Valerie was doing the kids class, or the teens class, sorry, at Claremont. I did not know that Valerie was an L2 coach at the time. I had no clue. I just know that she had started and she was doing the classes with her daughter, and she just gravitated towards Jessica, took her under her wing, and just like, when are you coming again? Come on, come with me. We'll do it together. Don't worry about it. And then they'd go over on their side and they'd work out together. And Valerie was that first relationship that she had in the gym that really kind of sparked it for her. So huge thank you to Valerie for that. I know that now they don't get to do the teen class anymore, but it's what it took.
Yeah.
It was the right cue at the right time.
Yeah. For sure. Because I remember her first class with me. I tried to murder her, apparently.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
My bad, Jess.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
I promise you that wasn't my intention.
It was one of the greatest learning lessons we've had. One of the greatest learning lessons we've had. But yeah, man, what else you want to know about my family? I can't get anybody else in my family to do it. I had my father actually ask me.
That's what I was just about to ask. Has your dad ever?
I had my father. We had a discussion one time about him just walking around the block, and he said, "You think I'm actually gonna get healthier by walking?" And I was like, I mean, science? or is that an actual question?
Science?
Yes, you're going to get healthier by walking. The funny thing is, after he said that, like a month later, he's like, oh, yeah, no, I've been walking around the block every day. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So as long as it doesn't come from me.
That's what it was.
As long as it doesn't come from me.
You can't be right.
But
I have one of those people in my family.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah.
Family's tough, man.
We don't get to choose them, but we do our best to love them and move on.
That reminds me of Clint's hashtag, the family you choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Is your mom pretty active?
My mom goes to the gym.
That was very specific. She goes to the gym. All right.
Well, I mean, she's extremely active as a person. Like, she
Okay.
doesn't sit still for long.
Yeah.
But me, my mom, and my sister are the three in our family who've always struggled with weight. We've always struggled with being heavy.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, me and my sister get our athleticism from my mom. My dad has never been heavy because my dad used to work in his own business and probably did like 25,000 steps a day, which leads me back to the whole, hey, you should start walking now that you're retired. And he was like, what are you talking about? I've been walking for 65 years. I don't need to walk anymore. But yeah, my mom goes to the gym. She goes to a standard, I think LA Fitness or whatever. And she usually goes in and just does the treadmill or does the bike, the typical mindset that most people have, which is if I want to get fit or if I want to lose weight, I have to do running, cycling,
cardio.
Yeah. And so sometimes we'll talk about exercise stuff. I try not to speak about this stuff with my parents because they will say something like what my dad told me and aggravate me. Sometimes I feel like they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been able to get anyone else into it. And I don't try to. I don't want to be like one of those people who is, a CrossFit evangelist or whatever, even though I am. But I'm not the kind of person who like shoves it down your throat that you should do CrossFit. It's something I believe in. And I know the effects of it are proven. But I can't with you, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go around, preaching the gospel of CrossFit everywhere I go. Like, if I go out and hang out with friends, I'm not there telling every single one of them, if you guys don't do CrossFit, you suck. Like, you do you. It's cool. If you guys see me and you think, okay, I want to look like that, or I want to be like that, or I want to be as happy as you are, you know where to find me. It's that simple.
I want to look like you, bro.
Nobody wants to look like me, man.
You're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Those eyes with that beard.
This is why I keep you around.
Since you've been coaching, have you, speaking about like preaching the gospel of CrossFit and all of that fun stuff, I have found in my life that when people find out that I am a coach or a personal trainer, that's all they want to talk about. And I'm just like, guys, I spend 6 hours a day in the gym. I don't want to spend my free time talking about it. Have you found that in your life, or is it
That's
the
a
opposite?
good question. It's funny. For so long, I worked in television. People would always ask me about my job. Now I've been pretty open about it. I try to post every once in a while on Instagram. I'm not a big posting type of person. But
we got to get better at that.
I think
we probably
have
more listeners. Or I got to get better at
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think. What was the question?
Have you found, like, in your social life that, like, once people find out you're a personal trainer, they...
I have some friends who know that I'm a CrossFit coach. they don't necessarily want to talk about it. They just want to criticize me about it. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is one of those things, you know how there's that saying where if you do what you love, you'll never work again. You know, I
Yeah.
could talk about CrossFit all day, every day, and never get tired of it. I do talk about CrossFit all day, every day, and never get tired of it. And I like to get nerdy about it. I like to know the intricacies of the methodology and stuff, which is kind of one of the things that kind of brought us together so well.
Yeah.
When people start talking about it and they're like, oh, well, you're a CrossFit coach, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have to gauge where they're trying to go with it, because if all they're trying to do is tell me how stupid it is and how their knees are broken because they tried CrossFit, that's not a battle I'm going to win.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that really interests me. Like, you're just trying to make me look bad.
Yeah.
And I do enough of that already on my own, so stay away.
Nah, not
But,
from this angle, bro.
But yeah, no, whenever we do talk about it, I the same way that I am in the gym is the same way that I am outside of the gym. I want people to live their happiest and best life.
Yeah.
I want people to have the courage to take the necessary steps to do the things that really set them for success. When I hear people talk about how miserable they are at work, or I hear people tell me how, you know, they're going through certain things in their lives because of the things that they do, that's when I may say, you know, I was there. Not so much you should do CrossFit, but more Frankie was there. Frankie felt that too. You know, I was in and out of the ER with my anxiety and panic attacks. So I feel you and I understand what you're suffering. There's only one way out. And that's just, it's really simple. Make a choice. Just choose what you want to do and go and do that, because sitting in and soaking in your misery isn't going to get you anywhere.
No.
And then if that leads to the conversation about CrossFit, you know, cool. You know, the other caveat to that too is I'm not originally from here. So the majority of my family and friends are in Miami. They can't really come and join one of our gyms.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I've had a lot of support from people who did work with me in the past, and they'll see me online and be like, holy crap, dude, you're not the same person. And that's always nice to hear, because I don't ever want to be that person again. But yeah, man.
Have you experienced anyone having like certain expectations of you? I know for me, like I'll go out to it makes me laugh just because like the very first time you, myself, and Jen went out to
to breakfast.
breakfast and you guys saw how I actually eat. It's always a very fond memory to me because like people have certain expectations of like, you know, people that are professionals in the fitness industry. Have you experienced that?
I haven't experienced that outside of the gym. I have had people like in the gyms, I wouldn't say judge me, but judge me. You know, hey, you know, you're a coach, like you need to throw more weight on the bar, or like, what are you doing that blue level workout for? Like you're one of the you're the general manager here. Like you got to set the example. And I'm like, absolutely. I'm saying I should. You know what? I'm gonna deload even more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to orange and set the example because you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So I've had that. I haven't had anybody say like, "Oh, you don't look like a CrossFitter." Actually, quite the opposite. I've had a few people. One was at a doctor's office, which was fun. Who was like, "So obviously you work out. What do you do?" And then I explained to them that I'm a CrossFit coach and I do CrossFit, and they're like, "Nice, keep it up." But yeah, which was shocking to me, right? Because I don't see myself that way. I don't see myself and look and say, "Oh yeah, definitely I work out." Still working on that part, mindset.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't had anybody have the same expectations that they have of you. People definitely have different expectations of Coach Keith. There is something very, very different there. And it's, I mean, I could see why.
I don't. I really don't.
I could see why.
I haven't done anything like if I was still in my 20s and people saw that version of me, then I would be like, okay, I get it. But people have never like seen me at a high level.
Think
you know
about
what I mean?
this. That person that you were in your 20s, right? You're no longer that person. You have, in your opinion, there's areas of your skill set that have diminished, right?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I am at the fittest I've ever been right now. I am the healthiest I've ever been right now. If they saw who I was in my 20s, they'd be like, Jesus Christ, what were you doing to yourself, right? So it's kind of the complete opposite for us. And I think you look the part. You look like you've diminished from who you were in your 20s. And I think that's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I guess what confuses me is like I haven't done anything to, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, earn the expectation that they have of me. You know what I mean? Like
As an
if
athlete
Rich
or as a
Froning
coach?
walked in and coached the class, like yeah, you're gonna expect him to be able to do some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But
As an athlete or as a coach?
as an athlete,
As an athlete, I don't agree with that, man. You've done some crazy stuff.
really?
Yeah. You do muscle ups like almost strict when you're demoing them, and when you do the double under drill, like you make it look so effortless. You know how we were talking earlier about when you make something look so easy?
Yeah.
Like you make some things look very simple. Even more than that, you know how to show how things shouldn't be in a way that I haven't seen from another coach. So, like, and I think it takes an elite athlete to be able to do those things. Like, I can't demo things the way you demo them. I can demo a lot of things. I can't demo them the way you demo them. And that's not because of what you know versus what I know.
Yeah.
That's about your body awareness and your ability to get in those positions because you've trained them better than I have for longer than I have.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Right. And I think a lot of people do know that there was a point in your life where you were training to be a games athlete. So even if you were only in the top 15% of the world, that's pretty high. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
See how I made my voice go higher to match how high that is? That's
I
up
did see
there,
that.
bruh. So, I mean,
All right.
you know, also, like,
So what you're saying is I need to stop disappointing people. Got it.
I don't think you're
No, I'm just
disappointing
kidding. Just
anybody. I really don't think you're disappointing anybody. I've also seen you. What was your max thruster in the last Open last year? Was like 290.
I wish it was 255.
Okay, sorry, 255. No biggie. What was your the overhead squat the other day? The one that you did in my kilos.
Yeah.
What was it? A 300-pound
Yeah.
overhead squat?
Yeah, it was.
I sent you a video. I was so excited. I did a 165-pound overhead squat max, and I was like, dude, it's working. What I'm doing is working. And then you just go and do 300.
But I was really excited. I honestly was more excited for you than I was for me because I know how much effort and work you've put into that. Like, I had no plans on actually PRing that day of the overhead squat. Like, that was a complete fluke.
Listen, we're friends, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. That was 300. Wasn't it 305?
No, it was 300.
It was just 300?
Yeah.
Just.
Just 300.
Okay. Yeah.
But I know how hard you have been working.
There's no buts,
so
bro.
I was really excited for you. I don't even think I told you about that. I think I just posted it online because Jen
that made it
me.
worse.
Jen made me.
That made it worse because I'm driving. I was not driving. I was parked
Yeah.
and scrolling through Instagram, and I see you do that, and I'm like, what the like, yeah. That made me feel smaller than the little I already am.
You're
But
doing amazing, bro. You've been put in
But-
so much work. So just the fact that you got 165 over your head and had the confidence to go into a squat is incredible. But the fact that you hit full depth on an overhead squat at 165 and came all the way up.
Maybe that's why I'm having all the pains I've been having lately. Yeah, man.
Tore some stuff up in there, huh? No.
So I did 165. You did 165 kilos. We're there. And I'm proud of you, bro.
Appreciate it.
I don't know why people have expectations of you, but, you know.
Well, I just assumed that it was like a general like consensus of coaches. I didn't think it was me specifically, but hearing your perspective, I'm like, okay, like I kind of understand that side of it a little bit more, like from the athlete side.
I think coaches, to a certain degree, earn their expectations.
For sure.
I think coaches, to a certain degree, earn their expectations. Like, anybody who thinks Lauren is a powerhouse athlete, it's because she's a powerhouse athlete.
Yeah, they're right.
They've seen her do the thing. You know, when people watch G6 go and do his ring muscle ups and it seems like he's floating, he's doing them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an expectation that they have. It's now one that has been created for them because they've seen him do it, you know. So when they see me talk a lot, that's something that I have created that they expect because I talk a lot.
Yeah.
We're good at what we're good at.
Facts.
But yeah, man, I don't know what is the intimidation. I will tell you my favorite thing that Alyssa tells me anytime we're at a CrossFit competition or we're watching a YouTube video and there's a CrossFit thing going on. Alyssa's question to me is, Dad, is that person stronger than Keith? And it's my favorite thing because I always look over and I'm like, of course they are. Absolutely. And she's like, really? And I'm like, you really think Keith is that strong? You know, we'll watch. The other day we were watching Noah Olsen do Diane in like, I don't know, it was like a minute 30 or some stupid number.
Yeah.
And Alyssa was like, wow, that was really fast. Do you think Keith can do that? I'm like, nope.
Not even
There
close.
was a point when he could. But remember, Keith is not training to do that in a minute 30. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I love when she says that, especially because of her being outside of the CrossFit space. So it's like, but yeah, man, we create. Tell people from now on when they have that expectation to stop having those expectations of you and start having intentions of you.
Exactly.
Keith, my intention is for you to overhead squat 350 next time.
Okay. All right. We'll both be disappointed. Now,
What is the goal with that, bro? Like, are you trying to get into a weightlifting meet?
if I'm being honest, bro,
Don't be honest. Lie to me.
I have no idea. Usually I do. That's why I had to make sure you knew I was being honest this time. No, I've really had fun hanging out with the weightlifting club and throwing down with them. Going to the last couple of meets has kind of lit a fire where I'm like, oh man, like maybe I do want to step back out on the platform and throw down.
How long has it been?
The last meet I went to was in 2021.
Okay.
It was the Tampa Bay Classic. I think it's the Fall Classic.
Okay.
Probably the best weightlifting meet I've ever had. I had to cut 12 pounds in a week, so 6 kilos. And I did it to get into the 89 kilo category. I went 6 for 6 on the platform, and I hit my PRs at the time on the platform, which was 116 for the snatch, so that's like 255, and then 130, I think 135? Yeah, 135, which is 295 pounds.
Nice.
So yeah, I hit those on the actual platform. So and went 6 for 6. So the absolute best meet I've ever had, and that's when I was like, "Yep, I'm hanging up the shoes. That's it's not gonna get any better than that."
So between the USAW that we just did, and then the weightlifting class, and the Olympics just happened, I know that
Yeah.
was fun to watch.
That was
so
really fun to watch.
starting to get a little hype for it.
Yeah, I think I think the fire's growing again, and I love training and I adore winning, but I hate competing. There's just so much pressure that I put on myself. There's so much anxiety that goes into it. I never want to let people down, even though they don't really care how well they do. They just want to see me go out there and lift some stuff. So I just put a whole bunch of pressure on myself. So competing has never been a fun thing. It's probably something that some childhood trauma I should dig into. But
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let's get you a Failures Progress singlet.
ooh,
Everybody heard it here first. If you want to see Keith in a singlet, open up those checkbooks.
if you want to see us
You're
on the
gonna
platform in a singlet, this isn't OnlyFans situation.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. There's will be competition involved.
If you want to watch him compete in a singlet, we'll be taking donations. That's actually a cool idea, though.
yeah, I
Failures
mean,
Progress
hey,
singlet.
I will. I was gonna say I'll do anything you guys pay me to do, but that's not 100% accurate. I will definitely compete in a Failures Progress singlet if you guys sponsor that. I would love to do that.
That'll be fun, man. So, are you thinking by the end of this year?
Yeah, that would be cool. I gotta see what's out there here in Florida. I don't really want to travel too far. I know some of the bigger competitions later in the year are outside of Florida, but we probably can find something here locally that we could throw down at.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I've never considered doing one. I'm still not considering doing one. As much as I have started to like enjoy the sport and really like it,
Yeah.
I don't know that I want the anxiety of all that.
Yeah.
It
I get
seems
it.
like a very depressing, not depressing, a very stressful type of thing to just sit there and wait, and then the timer comes on, and then you got to go hit your lift.
Yeah. I don't like that they
Everybody's-
cut the music. I would rather them throw the volume all the way up. Like, I don't even care what's on. It could be some polka music. I just don't want to hear myself breathe.
It's funny you say that because I was watching a video yesterday with Maddie Rogers, and she's training by herself, and you cannot hear a single thing. And I'm like, how could she do that?
Yeah.
Like, I can't picture myself doing anything without music. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do that, man.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed in the Olympics, too. It was crazy how quickly, as soon as that person would step up and grab the barbell, the entire crowd just went,
Yeah.
they were in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that barbell got overhead, it was like an eruption of claps and applause, and it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too much stress for me. I don't need that in my life. I'm good.
Yeah.
When I get to overhead squat 300 pounds, then I'll think about it. That'll be the goal.
All right, guys, you heard it.
That's when I'll wear the singlet.
That's what you. The same one.
All right, y'all. I think that's it for this one. We're ending on a high note. Start getting those checkbooks ready. Keith is gonna wear his singlet for the competition. Only for the competition. We really got to start recording these on video.
Yeah, we do.
All right, man. One last time, Festivus Games will be happening, presented by LRX, will be happening on October 5th. Sign up date August 31st will be the last day you can get your free shirt. Doesn't mean it'll be the last day, but sign up by the 31st, damn it.
Yeah, definitely sign up by the 31st. You'll still get your T-shirt. You can sign up after the 31st. You just won't get your T-shirt to say that you did the thing.
Yeah.
Which is really why we do these competitions anyway. It's for the T-shirt.
Yeah, even if you don't show up, you got the T-shirt.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. We will catch you on the next one. Have a beautiful week, weekend, day, month,
All that.
all of it. See you next time.
Take care.